5 ways to grab 2021 by the balls. So we've had a great new year, we've had a great Christmas break, and it's now time to hit the ground running come 2021. So here are my 5 tips on how you can grab 2021 by the balls. Rather than letting it take over, you're going to take control and you're going to grab it by the balls. So the first of 5 tips I want to give you is to decide who you're going to be in 2021. Like 2020 was about you being a certain kind of person, a person that tackled and took on all of the challenges that 2020 presented to us. 2020 was the year that kept on giving, right? And there was a certain version of you that took that on, that survived, that existed, that thrived, that was 2020, okay? But you don't have to be that version of yourself if you aren't happy with how you tackled 2020. If you want 2021 to be different, if you want to be and feel and look different in 2021, then you're going to have to decide who you're going to be this year. What does that person look like? What are the behaviors, the traits, the characteristics of this version of yourself are you going to be? So that involves literally sitting down with a pen and paper, right, and writing down how you would like to be this year. Who are you going to be? So decide what this version 2021 of yourself is going to look like, and how you would like it to look, and how you would like to be, because then that is going to help you to decide and make those choices in the coming year as to, is this choice that I'm about to make, this micro choice, this micro decision on a daily basis that you're going to make, is this decision in line with the person that I want to be this year? Yes or no? Because then that's going to help you to end up at the end of each month, at the end of each quarter, at the end of 2021, feeling and having been the person that you decided to be at the start of the year, right? That's the only way it can happen, is if you are in alignment and you make decisions and take actions that are in alignment with the person that you said that you wanted to be. Okay, so the first tip to taking 2021 by the balls is to decide who you're going to be. The second one is planning. God, it's boring for me to talk about planning. And you're probably rolling your eyes as well as you hear, listen, or see me talking about planning. But planning is going to be the difference between you either winging it or sticking to your guns. It's the difference between you going for the easy option or doing what you set out to do. Planning is going to be the difference between you saving time or wasting more time, because there's a saying about how if you are given the task of chopping down a tree, you're going to spend 95% of your time planning, preparing, and sharpening your axe before you start hacking away at it. Whereas if you don't plan and you just start smashing away at that tree straight away, it's probably going to take you a lot longer, because you may not have sharpened the tree, you may not have sharpened the axe, you may not have planned where you want the tree to actually fall, etc., etc., right? So it's all in the planning. And for us, the real life example is, are we planning what we're going to be eating and drinking each week? Are we planning the time that we're going to give ourselves? Are we planning when we're going to exercise? Are we planning to the nth degree? And it takes planning to the nth degree to help you to structure your time and your energy, because so many people complain about being too busy, about not having the time. But we all have the same amount of time. It's actually just how you decide and how you structure your time and what is a priority to you. And if you plan it in the first place, then you don't waste time in the moment going, should I do this or that? You've planned it, you've set the intention, you've already written down what you're going to do, so you're going to do it. It's like turning up to the supermarket with a shopping list, that's your plan, and just running your way through and getting to the end quicker, rather than turning up to the supermarket without a plan, without a list, and ending up buying God knows what, right? So that is the second tip for you to take 2021 by the balls, and that is looking at how much planning you have in your life, and you know whether you're planning enough or whether there is room for improvement. Okay, the third tip for you to take 2021 by the balls is to go slower. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you go all guns blazing from Monday, from today, from the 1st of January, whenever it is, if you go all guns blazing and you go all in, all right, because you're a all or nothing type of person, which invariably means that you go all in and then you burn out. I'll say that again. You go all in and then you burn out. I know this because I've seen it time and time again, where people, they have the best of intentions, but they go all in, and if anything, it's a strategy for them to self-sabotage, because you can't possibly stay all in forever. Whereas if you go slower from the start, you're going to find that you're going to be able to keep going for much longer. You're going to give yourself a lot more chance of actually sticking to something for longer than if you go all in 100%. You know, I'm going to do this every single day. I'm going to work my ass off every single day. If you just go a little bit slower from the start, you're going to be easier on yourself. You're going to give yourself more time to adapt. And yes, you do have to get uncomfortable in some way, shape or form in order to elicit the biggest changes in your life. But the uncomfortableness doesn't have to be super intense and straight from the outset, right? You can go slower. Say it's running, go slower. Say it's improving your nutrition, go slower. Say you're trying to get stronger, go slower. Say you're trying to create more time in your day to give yourself, go slower, and it will pay you back in dividends in the long term, as opposed to you going 100 miles an hour straight from the off and then realizing that you're back at square one because you couldn't sustain it from the outset. And deep down you know that you're not going to be able to sustain it, and that's why you do it, because you're giving yourself a back door, you're giving yourself an out. Whereas if you go slower, you're going to have much more of a chance of keeping it going. So that is my third tip for grabbing 2021 by the balls. The fourth tip is to start today. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until a more convenient time. I know it's Saturday at time of videoing this, but you can start today. It doesn't have to start on a Monday. Your life-changing decisions don't have to start on a Monday. They can start whenever you want. The decision is a moment in time when you decide that enough's enough, that you're going to make a change. And if 2021 is finally the year that you make that change, then why wait any longer? Why not start now and do something as soon as you've finished listening to me ramble on about the 5 ways to grab 2021 by the balls, right? So start today and heed the 3 other tips I've given you already, in that you want to decide who you're going to be, you're going to plan, and you're going to go slower, but you're going to start today. You're going to start as soon as possible so that you then get ahead of yourself. Otherwise, you end up waiting another 2 days, and then something else happens, and then you realise that it's the end of January and you've still not done anything. And then it's like, oh, why bother? I'll just wait until next month or next quarter or next year. And it just goes on and on and on. Start today. That is my 4th tip for grabbing 2021 by the balls. And my final tip is to give yourself even more of a fighting chance. I know that this weekend is when you're going to be taking Christmas decorations down and getting rid of all of the Christmas paraphernalia. At time of recording this, we've done it already, and it's about starting afresh. It's about putting it behind us and putting them into storage ready for next year. But you don't have to leave the Christmas hangover lying around any longer if you don't want to. If you do want to continue enjoying your Christmas, then it can quite easily turn into a bit of an extended hangover, because all the Christmas food is still in the house, all the booze is still in the house, all the decorations are up, and it's just a reminder of how we made ourselves feel, or can make ourselves feel, when all of that is still around. It's like giving yourself the justification as to why you can just binge on food and drink and telly and everything else. By day 3 of the Christmas holidays, I was starting to pull my hair out, because there's only so much of it that you can take. There's only so much of it that your mind and body can take before you get itchy feet, or at least I do. I get itchy feet, or ants in my pants, in terms of just wanting to move. There's only so much sluggishness that I can take. So in terms of grabbing 2021 by the balls, my 5th and final tip is to get rid of the Christmas hangover as quick as you can, because then it's out of sight, out of mind. The same goes for, the booze and the drink, the booze and the food and everything else. I know that there's going to be a shed load of stuff that is in your fridges and cupboards and stuff, and if in the past it hasn't worked whereby you can just hide it in the house so that you're not going to have it, or there are vices and stuff that that you can't control yourself from, then get rid of it. Get it out of the house. Re-gift it. Give it to other people. Get it out of the house, because otherwise it's just temptation that is there that is only going to come up as a stumbling block for you really taking 2021 by the balls. Okay? So they're my 5 tips. I hope they help. Which one stood out for you, and which tip, or all 5 tips, are you going to be implementing this year? So in summary, again, they were to decide who you're going to be. Plan, go slower than you think, start today, and get rid of that Christmas hangover. Here's to 2021 turning out way better than 2020.